I know exactly why you're watching this. You're wondering how the hell the shortest player on the court is also the most electric and fun to watch. It's not easy by any means at all, but I'll break down how Chris does it under the microscope. Like I always say, a lot of this just takes years and years of training, and most of it takes an insane amount of experience just to build these instincts. But I'm also a firm believer that with the right type and amount of work, you can add almost anything to the bag. Let's break it all down. So first, Chris literally uses his height to his advantage. Being closer to the ground, he's able to attack the defender's hip with his shoulder, because chances are they're not able to drop that low. And like they say, I know it's a football saying, but it applies in basketball too. Low man wins. Because at this point he has more leverage, he's in a better acceleration position, and he can essentially slip right past his defender's hip, and even get in front of him. In a lot of ISO situations, he uses size ups to be as unpredictable as possible, and kind of lulls defenders to sleep, even if it's fast dribbles. And once that repetitive pattern is established, the defender almost gets put in a trance, opening that opportunity to explode past him.
The drive, the scoop, the scoop. Devils to 50 points on the night, which equals the lowest point total in 10 years.
And you'll notice that because of this, defenders pay him a ton of attention when he's in an ISO situation. So these quick little passes out of a size up are available a lot. And what would any shorter guard's game be without speed changes? Partly because of his insane acceleration ability, he's able to come to an almost exaggerated slow speed and then explode out of it. This constant fluctuation between slow and fast really makes every move more unpredictable, and is probably the biggest key overall to really being able to shift your defender out of position. Like right here, he hits that slow cross and then boom, quick explosion to get out of it. Another thing is that Chris is naturally low to the floor, which means less distance to cover on each dribble, which means faster and more efficient movement with the ball. Like here, he's able to keep that dribble low to protect the ball. And since that ball doesn't have to travel much distance to get back up to his hand, he can react on a dime for the spin and finish.
Lykes with the crossover and the hesitation move.
And then lastly, his off arm is always active, trying to find an advantage.
5 to shoot. Here's Chris Lykes. 5'7" against the 6'10".
Like right here, you'll see him trying to get his arm above the defenders to make sure he's kind of winning that contact chess match, and he's really able to explode past him. The first thing you'll notice about Chris's finishing is that he seeks out contact. If he's able to hit them before he gets hit, it's going to be hard for them to contest to their full extent. Right here, he gets that bump, the defender gets pushed off balance, and he's got that wide open layup plus the foul. And that's another thing creative contact will do. Even if you don't get the finish to fall, there's much more of a chance that that contact leads to drawing a foul. And he's almost even better at selling these fouls. But there's a difference between flailing and giving up on a shot and selling the shot while staying stable and ready to finish. He doesn't sell out just to draw the foul. He always still has a chance to make the layup, even when he sells that foul just a bit. Because sometimes they won't call it. And even if they do, you want to be able to get that and one. Also, watch how he shields the defender with his off arm in midair. If you're thinking this a foul, it's never been called, so it's not. And then another key is that he just keeps the ball moving in midair. This makes it extremely unpredictable and tough for shot blockers to track the ball and block it. And he'll even show that ball purposely to bait them into jumping early and mistiming their block. Like right here, he shows the ball, the defender jumps for it, and then he goes under for the finish. Other times he'll just find ways to get the ball into the air before the defense can react, having the ball beat them to the backboard. And this is a combination of being very quick off the ground, as well as having a great feel for how to extend out and away from the defender. And then lastly, watch how well he decelerates to control his floaters. And this is going to prevent him from going into the defense and also helps him in not getting out of control. So just like he's got to be unpredictable with his finishes, he's got to be almost more unpredictable in how he gets his shots off to avoid getting blocked. The first way he'll do this is with hezzies. When the defense sees him taking that hang dribble towards him, it's going to put them on their heels naturally, and that's way harder to contest for them. Plus, he uses these shots to naturally get him in a rhythm. Next is hanging the ball actively. Watch how he's escaping away as he hangs that ball. So right now the defender has no idea when he'll pull it. So when he decides to, they're not going to be waiting on it. Same thing here. And then lastly, he loves using these freeze moves with a slight escape laterally. So what I mean by that is giving the defender a quick move to put him on his heels, and then escaping to the side a bit to get into that quick shot. And notice that these are quick too. He's not giving a ton of time for his defender to recover. And in general, the elevation on a shot makes it even more difficult to contest. He really gets off the ground, but also gets a shot off quickly. So if the defender's late, they're done for. Another thing that really helps him get his shots off with ease is using quick hop footwork. With these, he really cuts out that time that it takes to reorganize his feet, like he would need to do with a 1-2 footwork. He can literally just hit the ground and pop right up into that shot. So this means he's getting up into the air well before the defender does. Plus, think of it as kind of a reset button for your footwork. No matter the position he's in, if he's able to get into that quick hop, he's able to get on balance rapidly. But he does have that 1-2 in his bag in case he needs it, because every situation requires different footwork, and he's ready for any and every look the defense gives him. And lastly, he realizes that once he gets defenders moving backwards, like you see here, they're on their heels once again. So whether this is using a hard attack dribble into a pull-up, or attacking in transition, he's finding ways to get that defender backpedaling. Alright, so as with any guards with great acceleration, probably the easiest option off that pick and roll is just to use your speed to get an advantage on the big. This way you have your defender trailing you, and you're headed to the weak side of the floor with more space. But if they're scared of this and they play towards the outside, he's got no problem at all taking that inside option and either splitting or snaking that screen. He's also very cognizant of using that screen twice, because after that first screen, defenders will likely be out of position, so reusing it will many times lead to an open shot. And finally, if his initial defender overplays, he finds great angles to reject that screen and get into space.
Lykes two-pointer off the
And all this is made possible by good pace. Like I said earlier, speed changes are part of what makes any undersized guard's game, and it's no different off of screens. And the last ingredient to all this is fearlessness and confidence. There's no room for doubt at all if you're an undersized guard. No room for fear when you're attacking or taking big shots. If there's even an ounce of hesitation, you're setting yourself up for failure. And Chris makes sure that's never the case.
gets it to go.
I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Go follow me on Instagram at ByAnyMeansBasketball and stay tuned for much more. Thanks for watching.